Hey everyone, I wanted to send a video out today that was geared a little bit more toward the parents than the kids. And it's a video that I wanted to share because of my particular situation, being a preschool teacher and a parent of 2 kids under 6 and being home with them as well. In the words of Liam Neeson, I have a very particular set of skills. However, this past week has taught me a lot about how those skills can help me and how those skills have not been that helpful for me as a parent this week. I really have been right in the trenches with you all this past week, trying to figure out working from home, getting lessons out to your kids, getting emails sent out, answered, responded to, all those kind of things, while at the same time making sure my kids are doing something, have some semblance of structure that resembles their classroom life. Most of my reflection has been with my older son, who's in the kindergarten classroom, so I feel a little bit more pressure keeping him on a schedule and making sure he's learning or doing more kind of structured activities throughout the week. And those things don't come naturally to me in the home setting because I'm home with my kids on the weekends. It's time for us to chill and relax and not do those kind of things. So I wanted to just kind of reflect with you all for a minute, kind of what has worked for me and what hasn't worked for me. What I think has worked with my teaching knowledge merging with my parent knowledge has been just kind of keeping his options open throughout the week, so not feeling pressured to have to do one particular thing at a certain time. So we created kind of a menu of choices for him to play during either his free play or center time. So it felt a little less structured, but during those times only the menu options were available. What also kind of helped was me just kind of being gentle with myself, not feeling like he had to be finishing certain pages in his workbooks or X, Y, and Z. If an afternoon kind of got away from me, I tried to really be okay with that and reassure him and myself that we would get to those things tomorrow if we had time. And I think the main really helpful thing was, even though my son doesn't nap anymore, having time where he was in his bedroom resting in his bed, and then after that time was over, he had quiet choices in his bedroom, which was things he could choose, like Legos or dinosaurs or cars. So I still got at least an hour. Some days it was even closer to 2 hours to myself to get some things done while he was up in his room resting and then playing in his own little world up there. The things that were surprisingly difficult for me first was feeding my child. I really, really appreciate the snacks and lunches they provide. It would often be snack time and I would have totally forgotten to prepare anything. So the added food element was surprisingly challenging. Luckily, my son is perfectly fine eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches every day. And kind of just finding the balance, like I had mentioned, of some semblance of structure for him that resembles his classroom structure, but also flexibility and freedom to kind of lay on the couch with our dog for a little while if he wants to. So that's kind of where I'm at with my headspace. I mean, it was definitely overwhelming and tricky and stressful. But I think the overall thing I pulled out of this past week, especially with my older son, was it actually was kind of neat to spend the week with him, being a working parent with him since he was 3 months old, to actually get to feel a little bit more connected with him during this past week has been really nice. And that's the biggest piece I'm trying to take out of it going into week number 2. So the other piece I just wanted to quickly share with you all was kind of, again, getting in my headspace, being a preschool teacher and a parent, going into the second week. So I had this moment Thursday night where I was feeling like we've exhausted a lot of our household materials. I have some things, I don't have others. I wanted to find just a few more things to bring home that could maybe take us a long way if we needed to. So I ran to Walmart and I dropped like $35 on some things that I thought I'd share with you in case you want to also go out and panic shop for a minute for your kids' school supplies. But I'll just quickly show you what I got, and then I'm going to show you just a couple things I have pulled out of my house that you may also have that might be helpful. The first thing I wanted to get was just some variety of paint. We had these tiny dinky little acrylic paint tubes that are almost used up. So I just got primary color acrylic paint. You may not be comfortable with that in your house. Totally understand. Don't have to buy acrylic paint. Washable paint is totally fine too, but I at least got the primary colors, and then a white and a black to kind of have in our home art studio. I picked up a sketch pad. I mean, we have computer paper we've been using, but I wanted something else that we could use that was a little bit more artsy if he's painting or drawing, not quite as thin or flimsy as the computer paper. I didn't have any watercolor paint at home, so I just picked up a watercolor palette. Oil pastels. If your kid is tired of crayons, as I feel like mine might be after the week, this was like under $5 to get a big pack of oil pastels from Walmart. And again, just to provide a different like art medium. We haven't used a ton of markers this past week. We mainly had crayons and colored pencils just for the sake of our tables at my house. So I hope these will provide something different for him to use this coming week as we're doing art at home. I also picked up some beads. I mean, these are obviously for an older child, but I picked up some letter beads, so it's fine motor and literacy together, hopefully. So I picked up some beads. I didn't actually have any beads in my house. I picked up a bunch of, this is braiding cord, but if you have younger kids, it could be a thicker kind of string, shoelaces, those kind of things. But since he's 5.5, I know he'll be able to handle these fine. And they're still a little sturdy if he's lacing. They also had these nesting trays at Walmart. I picked up for like $10. I feel like it makes our home feel more like his classroom because the aesthetics are the same. And it'll just be a way for me to set stuff up so aesthetically it looks nice too for him, for me. We are moving him to the basement this week. It is a finished basement, but I needed to separate a little bit of the clutter of homeschool stuff with my work stuff. So I'm hoping him having a little separate area will be better. I also picked up a pack of rubber bands for like $1. We're going to try to build a geoboard this week, so we'll see how that goes. And yeah, I got all this stuff. It was under $40 for all this stuff. I'm hoping it'll take us a long way if it needs to. And yeah, I just want to quickly show you the stuff I kind of pulled out of my house and what I've been doing this past couple days to prepare for next week too. You know, my son is a big tinkerer. It's clear he's been at a Reggio school long enough and a loose part school long enough that he needs tinkering things. So this is his basket he's had upstairs, but I've added just, again, recycled materials throughout the week. Our waffle box is turned into cardboard pieces that he could glue on or construct with. Loves a good egg carton. It's filled with stuff now. I've been saving tabs from cans, all those kind of things. I'm going to organize this a little bit better for next week. But again, just think about those repurposed loose parts that you could add to their learning. And playing cards, we've had them in our classroom this year, but they're just a great way to kind of have some math learning happening in a natural way. that will hopefully be independent for them, so they can put rocks, beads, buttons, gems, those kind of things on the cards. Could be a matching game. I mean, the kind of ideas are endless for playing cards. Finally, other containers. I'm totally going to use a muffin tin this week to put stuff in. For him, it's, you know, for younger kids, what would be chokables. For older kids, we can kind of have out as loose parts. I pulled a couple of like my drawer organizers to put things in this week for him. And, you know, a big tray I had in my kitchen as like a decorative piece I'm going to use to put some stuff on as well. So again, just a thought. I don't want you to feel pressured to have to do anything, because I know what that pressure feels like this past week. I just want to kind of give you my perspective. Hopefully give you some good ideas that maybe you could use coming into the second week. I feel like the second week in some ways is more scary, and other ways is less scary. Like a little bit more wrap my mind around what's gonna be happening. So yeah, I hope this video was helpful to you. For any parents in my circle that are watching and want to reach out, feel free to email me. If you're friends with me on Facebook, to message me. Like I said, I'm right in the trenches with you, but I'm trying to be as calm about it as possible, as resourceful as possible, as gentle with myself as possible. And I'm hoping with those things in mind, we'll continue getting through this all right. And yeah, maybe I'll do another update next week and let you know how my second week went. All right, bye.